Hello everybody, it's Crypto Trader Vader here. Just going to be going through my 30 or so altcoins for my cryptocurrency trading course that I'm doing at the moment, and I'm going to be going through these 33 altcoins and giving my opinion on them. Just want to make sure that I'm live, which I am. That's good. And I think I can see the screen fine, and I think my audio is appearing to be fine too, so that's good. So as I'm just starting this out, the last week has been absolutely crazy with respect to cryptos. You can see here Bitcoin has actually absolutely rocketed upwards, which is not exactly what I expected, and probably not what a lot of people expected. I think a lot of people had the inkling that the run up to and past 10,000 US was pretty crazy, and they expected this drop here to be a little bit more significant. It did come down, came down to just around 9,000. And then just started that rally up. And you can see here, if you look very closely, it's a perfect lead in to my trading strategy, which is the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. And I talk a lot about this because it's the strategy that I'm learning in this cryptocurrency trading course that I'm doing at the moment. I'll pop the link in the description in a minute if you want to check it out. But basically it teaches you that when a market is turning around and going the opposite direction, it'll first do a small triangle formation. And the way that that triangle formation kind of works, or looks like, is like this. So there'll be a 1, a point where the bottom is reached. The 2 point is the subsequent high from that bottom. And then the 3 point is where the market has turned back around, it's heading lower, but it fails to reach this level of the 1, and basically we call that a failed retouch of that recent low, failed retouch of a recent low. And so what happens is you get this 1, this 2, and this 3 formation. When that happens, you've got a strong buy indicator right around this point here. Where it passes the 2 level, that's where you know that the market has turned around. Now, of course, it's not always right, and there's many situations where it'll go through that 2 and then continue on a downward trend. That's what we call a fake out breakout. But more often than not, or at least one strategy, is to look for this particular formation and then to buy at this point. As the market then starts to rise and proving your position or your bet correct, you can add to your position. This is something that's in the book Phantom of the Pits, which you can find for free on Google if you Google it. You never put your whole position on at once. Instead, you put a smaller position and then add to it when the market is proving you correct. So that's something interesting, that you can see this exact formation in Bitcoin itself, and of course some very volatile markets, which means there's lots and lots of money to be made either way. My focus though at the moment is on the altcoins, and that's what I'm learning to trade at the moment. So I do want to go through and kind of check out each of these 33 altcoins that I do every week, and then I'm going to be giving away a Clam coin as well. In fact, I won't be giving it away this. Actually, I'll tell you about it now. If you pop a comment in the underneath the video with your Clam coin address, every video that I make, I'm gonna give away a Clam coin to a lucky commenter. So make sure if you do chuck a comment underneath that you include your Clam coin wallet address. If you don't have one of them, I'll leave some links in the description that you can go and create one, and hopefully you get lucky especially since this channel is very young. We don't have many people viewing it at the moment. These early videos, if you get in early, you'll probably more than likely get lucky if you comment on every one of my videos. So next video, which will likely be around Wednesday or so, I'll be drawing the first winner. So let's have a look at ADA here. ADA is, I don't really know a lot about ADA specifically, but it is forming a bit of a 1, 2, 3 here. And just for this first one, I'm going to draw it out, but for the rest of them, I might just skip that step. So we can see here that we've got this 1, 2, 3, and you can see the 3 is clear because it's failed to come down to this recent low. What's happened then is you can see it's again done a 1, 2, 3, although this is very, very close to this here. You might even say that that's bounced twice off of this level. The buy signal originally, with the original 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, would have been around here, and you can see that this is a perfect example of a fake out breakout where it's popped up and shot up significantly through this, but then it's actually dropped back down and come back down to lows. Now, in a situation where this bear market continues down and actually drops beneath the level of this 1 back here, if it drops and runs lower than this 1, that would be definitely my signal to pull out. However, because it's kind of again forming a 1, 2, 3 and then retesting this level here, it has eventually come up and gone through this level, shot up, and now it's pretty much double what it was. I think the Bitcoin market being as hectic as it is at the moment has definitely contributed to some wild swings in the altcoins. This particular, just before I move on to Bitcoin Cash, ADA, I don't think I'm going to be buying at this point. There's a few other coins that are making similar 1, 2, 3 bottom formations that I think have better opportunity, so I'm going to be leaving ADA for now, and I'll recheck that next week and see if there's another opportunity to buy there. So let's have a look at Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin and see how this one is going. So let's first jump to the 1 month view, zoom back out. It's got this crazy spike that happened about a month ago or so, and it's just been recovering and kind of going in all sorts of directions ever since. I have noticed one interesting thing with Bitcoin Cash is that anytime it kind of hits this level here, this low points, when it jumps up very, very quickly. However, it is reaching these new lows, not as low as it was back here, of course, but after this giant bubble, the speculative bubble up here, it's reaching these new lows, and I don't think that it is going to be returning in a strong bullish trend anytime soon. And you can see my reasoning for that in pretty much the opposite of a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, which is the 1, 2, 3 top, and that goes something like this. There's the 1, there's the 2, and the 3 is where it's failed to come back to this 1, so it hasn't been able to come back and touch this point here, and so because it's failed to reach there, indicates a bit of a bearish trend. If you're in any sort of position where you're holding Bitcoin Cash, you can continue to hold it. However, if I were in that position and it were to move beyond this 2 point in the 1, 2, 3 top, so if it were to go basically under around 0.126 or 125, if it goes under that, dips beneath that, there's likely going to be a bit of a strong push down. I'm a little biased on Bitcoin Cash because I do have some buy orders set around the 11.5 mark, because I do want to get back into this coin. Just look at those giant returns. They look amazing. So, and the reason I'm setting them at around 11.5 is just it's just around this level here, where after the bubble, after that giant speculative rush, it's crashed down into this sort of territory, and I'd like to get it there because that would be a nice cheap price. I'm hoping that happens. If not, it might stay around here. It might actually begin to turn around. Obviously, time will tell. Let's have a look at black coin. And if we're zooming in here to the... Well, actually, let's have a look at the further trend. Just seems to be staying around and lumbering around the same old level. Now, you might think that's kind of not very interesting, but I think it is. A lot of altcoins have lost significant value as Bitcoin has rushed up. And I don't know the story behind Blackcoin, or what it's promising to deliver. But the fact that it's stayed fairly steady with respect to its trading against Bitcoin is an indicator to me that it's probably a pretty sturdy long-term buy. There might be some trading opportunities in between there as well, but again, not my trading strategy, and I like to stick with one strategy because I think that if you're sticking with one, you're probably going to be learning it a little bit quicker. So I just want to have a look at this 1, 2, 3, see if there's any 1, 2, 3 bottom formations here. I'm going to change this candle to the 4 hour. And 1, 2, it's reaching these lower lows. It's really staying around this 3,000 Satoshi mark. I don't think there's a strong opportunity in Blackcoin for my particular strategy. Now, BitShares I bought into. I bought into at around 1,500, probably a little late. Right around this level here is where I bought in. Probably a little late for this big spike, but I didn't want to miss out, and that's why I bought it. You can see here there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3 bottom formation, and I'm going to go back and look at last week's video to see if I mentioned that. I think I did. As it's past this level, the 1300 level, that would have been a good place to buy in, but as you can see, there's been a bit of a fake out breakout and it has returned down to lower levels. Not getting to these levels here. As I said before, I have got a position that I bought at around 1,500. I'll be looking to sell that if it starts to dip around the 10 or 900 or 1,000 Satoshis or 900 Satoshi level. But for now, I'm just going to hang on to that. I think there's some positive things about BitShares, and I'll be employing a strategy for closing these positions, which I'll talk about a little bit later when we get down to Sia coin, because that happened this week. Clam coin is one of my favorite coins, probably one of my bigger holdings too, and as I mentioned before, I'm giving away Clam coin, so make sure you pop a comment underneath with your Clam coin address, and next video I'll do a random comment picker and give away, send 1 Clam coin to a lucky person. So let's have a look at see if there's any 1, 2, 3 bottom formations here. We've got a 1 here. I'd say this is the 2 here, and it's kind of lumbered along very slowly. 3 being there, or even there, you could put the 3. And then it has broken out. Now I've got a whole bunch of lines drawn on here for where possible support and resistance could be. Really not sure where Clam is going. With the rise and the continued rise of Bitcoin, it's very interesting to see how these altcoins react. And of course what that means is, because we're trading in Bitcoin and we're looking for these patterns traded against Bitcoin, even if they're losing a little bit against Bitcoin, the coins, vast majority of the time, are staying pretty level and not losing a lot of value dollar-wise. So whether you're trading, if you're trading against Bitcoin and there is a gain, that means of course it's an exponential gain. As Bitcoin is rising significantly, your coin is doubling the holdings that you might have in Bitcoin. Clam coin, I'm really not sure where it's going to go here. It looks as though this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation has broken out, And I think last week I did mention that when a bottom formation breaks out, like it did here, you can see that that line kind of becomes the new support line. And that's no exception here, even though it's just underneath it. Still very much consider that a support line because you can see how strong the market is staying here. If it does break through these levels, we'll probably be looking at lower levels on Clam, potentially retesting this 66,000 Satoshi and maybe even the 50,000 Satoshi. But if that happens, I'll definitely be looking at increasing my bag size a little bit. I did sell a handful of Clam coins at around the 79 mark just to do some diversification of those holdings. Let's have a look at Civic coin, CVC. Okay, we've got newer lows here, which is never a good sign, and this is looking at probably about a month view. Let's change that back to the 4 hour. Yeah, wow, very strong downward trend. You see these spikes here are interesting. Someone's made a giant purchase. Maybe that was to turn around the market. To try and turn around the market. Doesn't look like it's worked. It's reached newer lows, and I'm not bullish against Bitcoin for Civic in the short term here. Dash coin is another coin that I've recently got a couple of. Now, one thing that's interesting that I might just show you guys actually, I'm going to go ahead and I think that I can add indicator. Can I add Bitcoin? Bitfinex, let's go to that one. It's a nice big exchange. So I'm just chucking that. What I'm doing here is I'm putting the price of Bitcoin in the background so that you guys can see where this kind of contrary correlation seems to sit. See, it started right here as Bitcoin is really reaching this super bullish trend here. Dash coins starts to drop down, kind of trying to maintain a dollar value, and then as Bitcoin crashes or does this correction, Dash coin turns bullish, and you can see the exact same things happen in reverse. As Bitcoin has become more bullish again, Dash coin has reversed. Now, what this kind of tells me is that people are very much looking at Dash against USTD or against the dollar or the Tether coin. I don't know what that means, but I think it could possibly mean that it's becoming a bit more expensive, a bit more serious in people's minds, and they just want to get a little bit more clear on how much of their wallet they're spending on that. It's not Bitcoin. I didn't really have a good look at that. I just want to go back to Dash here, just by itself, and look at the 1, 2, 3. Okay, here we go. We've got a 1, we've got a 2, and we've got a 3 bottom formation down here, and then it's working its way up. It's really trying to get to this level, and you can see here as well at this point, right here. Let me just get the arrow out. Right here. You can see there's 2 candles there. One's smashed very quickly up and another one's dipped very quickly low. What that kind of shows me is that the market was very much uncertain about going above this point, and the resistance point would probably be around this level here where the other candle has closed and opened. And you can see that the resistance has maintained at kind of these levels at around 0.078, 0.079 Satoshi. So I would say that if Dash coin fails to reach these lows again of 0.51 0.051 Bitcoin, 0.051 Bitcoin, and 0.058 Bitcoin, if it fails to kind of reach those levels and begins to turn around again, that's a strong bullish signal, and I would be placing buy orders around the 0.08 Bitcoin mark. Decreed. Let's have a look at this coin. I think I bought into this one last week. I'm going to have a look in a minute. We've got a 1, we've got a 2, we've got a 3 bottom formation, and as it's broken out, I believe I bought it at around 5,300, and now it's come back down, and it has crashed. Not really. It's definitely dipped a little lower. I'm going to hang on to this coin a little while longer to see if it does prove correct, but I am wary of falling into the trap of kind of rationalizing these coins as they're going downwards. I think it's probably one of the big mistakes with trading. People hang on, they sell too soon. Would be one of the big problems with trading. They sell way too soon. As soon as they've got a little profit, they get rid of it. But also, I think people are hanging on too soon. Hanging on too long in hopes that the market turns around. That hope, I think, is a bit killer. Not good for money. Let's have a look at Dogecoin. Dogecoin is such a great coin. I love Dogecoin. It really popped up here up to 27. I did sell around the 26, 27 mark and bought back in at 20. 20 Satoshi. It's come down to 19 a couple of times. If it's going to start dipping down to about 18 to 17 Satoshis, I'll consider cutting my losses, or maybe even potentially buying up a bigger position, because I am long-term bullish on Dogecoin. I mean, when you consider if we look at the very, very long-term view of Dogecoin, there's these constant spikes that keep on coming back, and they reach at least 97 Satoshis. This one here was ridiculous, 183 Satoshis. Any time that it's down at these levels, 30, 19, where it's at now, 17, where I first got into Doge, it's a bargain, and it can easily go 10 times within a month or two. And that's the sort of timelines that work really well for my trading strategy. So I'll be keeping a close eye on Doge, but at this stage I'm just going to wait and see. Ethereum. Let's go back to the 1 month view. Change that to the 4-hour candle. Here we go. Look at this lovely 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and now we have Ethereum dropping lower and lower against Bitcoin, and it's reached this point here now where it's at a serious risk of turning into a bearish trend. So I'm going to go ahead and not buy any of Ethereum for the time being. I'm holding a couple in my long-term account, but for my trading account, I definitely won't be looking at Ethereum at the moment. Just hanging on. If it can turn around at this point before it reaches the point of 1 back here, which is 0.038, if it can turn around before it reaches that point, it might stand a chance of turning back into a bullish trend. But for now, I'm going to stay away from that one. Oh, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but I popped a little not financial advice text there, because I just wanted to reiterate that this is all for me and my journal, not advice of any sort. So please don't trade based on what I'm saying. I should be the only one that loses money if my trades are wrong. I don't want you guys to lose money. You might be able to make money by popping your Clam coin address in the comments, and then I can send you a Clam coin. Well, one lucky person a Clam coin. Expanse. So I'm not really sure where this is moving. It's too soon to call a 1, 2, 3, and it looks like it's reaching these new lower lows all the time. So I'm going to be staying away from Expanse coin for a little while longer. I'll keep checking in on it week on week though, and when it does make that lovely formation, I'll be sure as heck to jump on that bandwagon. So we've got Factum coin now doing this 1, 2, let's call that one a 2 and a 3. Now if it starts to turn around here and break through this 300k Satoshi level around here, if it breaks through that, it'll be good. It'll be a good buy signal, but for now it really hasn't made a clear 3 number yet, so I'm going to hold off rather on that one. Folding coin I did buy. I remember I bought this last week because of the formation. It looked really nice. And another really good example of the fake out breakout, which you really need to be aware of. Oops. Let's go there. There, 1, 2, 3. It's failed to reach this lower low of 109. It's kind of stayed around the 117 level. It's gotten pretty close to it though. So as it breaks through this level here, the 160 Satoshi, that's where it's really going to shine. I think I bought in with a closer 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. 1, 2, 3 here. There's the 2, 1, 2, 3. And I bought it around this level, around 135, I think, by memory, or 138 or something like that. And it did shoot up, but again, fake out, breakout, came back down, and now it's hovering around where I bought it. I'm going to hang on to that a little longer. It's just a bit too short for me to make a decision about whether the market's proving me correct or not yet. I don't want to make any rash decisions with this stuff. There's a big, big opportunity in this market, but certainly not going to be making those decisions willy-nilly. Alright, game credits. We're reaching newer lows here, which is not good at all. We've got 1, 2, 3, failed to test, but it failed to come back up here and has drifted off into this lower low. So we'll count this as the new number 1 and hope that it starts to make a nicer looking formation. GNO. Gnosis. I don't know how to pronounce that. Gnosis. Let's change that to the 4-hour candle and let's have a look at this 1, 2, 3 bottom. Maybe a little 1, 2, 3 bottom formation here, and it's broken through this level at 0.011. And then it's fake out, breakout, come back down to these sort of levels. So we really need to wait and see on this one. I think these turnarounds are definitely influenced by the market turning around for Bitcoin being all over the place. Yeah, that one I'm going to hang on to and wait around for a little while longer, I think. Golem. GNT, also known as Golem Network Token. I did put this up last week. I've kept these indicators here because it's a good way for me to look back on what my previous rationale for this particular token was. And you can see that the 1, 2, 3 bottom has broken out, done a fake out breakout, popped right up and come back down. Now it's sitting around this 2900 Satoshi level. I'm really going to wait and see on this one. I didn't invest a large amount. I think it was 0.01, maybe you know, a pretty small amount of Bitcoin. And so I'm just going to wait and see on this one. There are some nice volume spikes coming up here. There's a big one here too. And these big long candles, there's a lot of volatility, especially recently in this particular market. Not sure exactly what that means, but I am using the popcorn trading strategy that I'm learning about in my digital currency course. Links in the description if you want to check it out. And that popcorn trading strategy. I'll tell you a little bit more about when we get down to see a coin, because there was some success that I had with that one this week. So here we go with library credits. We've got a lovely 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. You can even chuck that 3 across there. It doesn't matter where you place it. That's the line. Seems to be hitting that twice and bouncing off of it, which is a good sign. So definitely I'll be keeping an eye on reaching around this 330 Satoshi. 3,300 Satoshi, I should say, level. Once it reaches that level, right around here, could indicate a turnaround for library credits. I love library credits. I like the idea. Decentralizing YouTube, it's awesome. Long-term bullish on that one, but need to wait and see for my trading account to see what happens there. Again, we've got something similar here. We've got this 1, 2, 3. It needs to turn around here and head back up for Lisk to be considered a good trade for my particular strategy, the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. LTC Litecoin. Someone requested that I have a look at this one this week, and it's on the 4-hour candle. Wow, that is so nice. Look at that. Look at this. There's the one. Oops, let's get rid of that. I'll go back to using arrows because it's just a bit quicker. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and it's failed to come back down and test this low of about 700,000 satoshis, or 0.007 satoshi. 0.007 Bitcoin rather. It's failed to come back and test that. It stayed at 0.008, and now it's tried to come back down again and failed to touch even the 8. So it's almost a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bottom formation. We'll continue to watch this one, I will, because if it reaches this 0.01 Bitcoin and passes that, it's a definite strong bullish trend, and I'll be looking to buy some Litecoins. I don't actually have any Litecoins except for some that were given to me by Doug from Lumbridge City YouTube account. Check that one out if you get a chance. Navcoin seems to be a little bit erratic for my liking. If I zoom into the kind of the 1 month view, change that to a 4-hour candle, and we can see here this downward trend's been strong, and it's not forming a very strong 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. In fact, it's kind of staying around this level. If you want to buy into Navcoin for a long-term buy, it would probably be a good time now to be buying Navcoin. It's at these, historical lows, maybe not as historical as this. It does seem to be holding pretty firm here. Good buying opportunity for Navcoin. And OMG, oh my, let's go. We have new lows for OMG, not a good sign. This coin was very pumped for a while, and it was getting a lot of kind of attention, all these new partnerships and all this other cool stuff that was happening, but it doesn't seem to have come to fruition really when it comes to comparing it against Bitcoin, of course. Let's move on here to rep. That's a bit better. It's a nice formation there. I bought some rep last week, I think. I bought some rep. You can check out my Wednesday video where I go over my live trades if you want to see where I bought in on that one. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and I think I bought in around the 305 mark. Now it did go up, fake out, breakout, came back down, retouched this 3 level, and then it's come back and made me a little bit of profit. I actually had a popcorn trade set, a sell order at around 385. So how this popcorn strategy works, because we're right at the level that I can tell you guys about it. For this coin it worked, and for Sia coin it worked last week. Basically the popcorn trading strategy is a sell strategy where after you've bought in a coin, instead of holding that coin in a long-term wallet, you actually put it on the exchange, or keep it on the exchange if that's where you got it from, and put in some sell orders for a variety of different levels. So you might, for example, with Augur or Rep, I popped in a sell order at around this level. After I bought it at here, I sold some at around 380. I've also got some other sell orders set for 555 and one even higher. I don't even know how high specifically. I think it was around 75 or something like that. Let's say it's around there. So what happens is every so often these coins just get absolutely pumped, and they get pumped so high that it's completely unsustainable. But of course people's nature is to get overexcited when the price is rising. And what happens when people get overexcited is that the price comes back down. And that represents an opportunity for us traders, because we're able to set these sell levels at places where we can indicate there's been previous highs. So the reason I set 385, I think it was because if you look back here in the history, there was some resistance around this level. So I thought, well, if it's going to pop up, the first level of resistance will probably be around the 390 mark. And so I just go just underneath that. So my coin sells for a nice profit. And of course, as I've made that profit, I can now either choose to buy back in at this lower level once things have kind of settled down, or in this scenario, I'm actually quite happy to leave Augur alone and kind of see what happens. If it does continue an upward trend, I might buy some back, but at this stage I'm happy with that profit, and I'll just keep that as is. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, another nice touch on that third line, and it could turn around. So it looks like this coin is possibly turning around, and I'll be keeping another eye on that. I think that's my first profit while running this channel. Here's Sia coin. Let's get rid of some of these arrows. And this one here is another one where I've made money with the popcorn trading strategy. In fact, this one I haven't quite made money yet, but I'm almost there. I've got my sell order set for 103 right here, just beneath this pop. And I think that Sia coin is going to continue up until around the 110 mark, where it will have a nice drop down. And the reason I've decided that is because if you go back here, you can see these levels where there was previously some resistance around 104. So I might just hang on to that and see what happens. Hopefully those sell orders will be executed. If I go over to my Poloniex though, you can see my strategy right here in the order book. Bought at 54, selling at 103 and 133 when those pumps happen. 54, let's have a look at where 54 was. Get this cross back up. 1, 2, 3, and I bought around 54 right here. So probably a little out of my strategy because it didn't reach this 2 mark yet, the 73 mark, but it has well and truly cleared that now and is on a nice bull run. Let's have a look at Steam. Newer lows when we're looking at the 1 to 2 month level with the 4-hour candle. It's got a bit of support around this level here, but if we look at this 1, 2, 3, has broken through. Might be positive. That 123 is a little short with regard to time frame for my liking, so I'm not going to trade on that. I'd rather see a longer term 1, 2, 3 bottom formation before I buy that one. Ah, yes, storage coin. It's also good to talk about my failures, and this one was one of them. Last week on Wednesday, when I did some live trading and I went over my trade positions, I actually went against my normal trading strategy, and I bought into this coin because it was trending along this green line that you can see. I bought right around this 8,000 mark, and as you can see, it was definitely the wrong move. It's crashed back down, it's come back, and I sold it off at around this level here as it was coming down. So I wanted to minimize my losses. The market didn't prove me correct, so I went ahead and closed that position as quick as possible. Trading is a loser's game. You got to learn to lose well and lose minimally in order to win it in the long term. Stellar coin is this lovely trend, similar to storage, but I've kind of learnt my lesson there. I don't want to trade on that strategy. 1, 2, 3. This is not really a 1, 2, 3. It's more of a triangle formation, which I do love. Again, not something I'd normally trade, but let's just have a look for fun. See the resistance at this 895 level, around 900 satoshis, but it's getting crushed in by this trend line, or thereabouts. Does seem to have broken it here. You can see this is running along that trend line, but still could be classed as a triangle formation. If it does continue downwards, it may have failed to kind of break through this support line, but what I imagine is going to happen, it's exactly the same as what happened with Bitcoin. And I'll show you guys what happened with Bitcoin right here. Let's change to the 4-hour candle. Right here. Following this lovely trend. I don't know what I'm doing with this. I've totally lost it. Maybe I'm going way too far. There we go. I thought I saw a very similar triangle formation with Bitcoin, but we'll leave that for now. Get through the rest of these altcoins first. Stratis. Ooh, that's nice. It's very nice. It's a 1. There's your 2. There's your 3 bottom formation, and it's breaking through the 2 right now. That might be a good opportunity to do a bit of a live trade here. So let's buy some Stratus. Let's do it. Why not? It's going to be very excited. Strat. Look at that. That looks so nice. 1, 2, 3 bottom formations trending upwards. It's getting support around here too. The EMA, the exponential moving averages of 20 and 60, which is the positions that I've got it on, has crossed over at this point. And wow, it's breaking through. You're watching this live at the moment. 5,800. Let's buy a handful of these. And I have no Bitcoins because they're all getting lent out at the moment. So I think I'll have to buy some of that. I'm going to stop the lending and get some of those Bitcoins back so I can buy. I'll have to do that. I can't do it live, guys. Sorry. I'll have to wait and do that after the video. Stratus, make a note of that. That's nice. Alrighty, let's have a look here. Vertcoin, 1, 2, 3, top formation. Seems to be coming back. It could be breaking back into a bullish trend here. 1, 2, 3, bottom. You know what's probably more likely, and an easier way to look at it, is these trend lines. And again, I'm just being very approximate with my trend line drawing, as should you be, because they're never 100% certain. But you can see there's this kind of wobble where it's kind of had this triangle or this flag situation where you can see that the market's undecided and it's getting more and more certain, and then it kind of breaks out, and it's broken out here. Hopefully that transitions into a bullish trend, but we'll have to wait until around the 95,000 Satoshi level to see what happens with that. I've got a few Vertcoin, but I'm not overly optimistic yet. Might be a good trading situation. Counterparty. Okay, let's have a look at this. 1, 2, 3. Could even place the 2 here and the 3 here. Now we've had a small fake out breakout, and it appears as though it might be coming back. Definitely a opportunity there. I'm going to note that down. Possible buy at around 250k on Counterparty. 250k sats, and just with Strat 58,000, I think. Just noting that down for trades that I might look at after this. Let's have a look at XMR Monero coin. We're on Bitfinex. Let's change that. I always like to get the market that I'm actually trading on, because there are some small differences that can change your entry and exits. Monero, I love this coin. The long-term fundamentals for this coin are fantastic, and that's why it's one of my large holdings. As Bitcoin grows, there's going to be a bigger trend for a reduction in privacy. Excuse me. And Monero solves a lot of problems with respect to that. So I'm long-term bullish on Monero. I do like to trade these sideways trades though, so if we kind of look at the long-term volatility, it seems to be around this 17.017, I should say, Bitcoin. 0.017, it likes to stay around there, and when it gets up to, you know, 25, 30, might be a good chance to sell a few and buy back later. I never like to sell my full bag when it comes to long-term holds, because you don't want to be missing out on those big gains when they do come, and when they come, they can sometimes change the game. Look at something like Dashcoin and how that's performed against Bitcoin in the long term. It's just been up and up and up, and you don't want to be missing out on that upward trend just to try and get a little bit more. Ripple, it's just not looking good. It just does not excite me at the moment. It's a very cheap coin when it comes to per unit, so I see a lot of people talking about it. It's got a high market cap and it's a very cheap coin. A lot of friends will come up and say they bought some Ripple, and I've got 1,000 or so, but I'm just not that bullish on this coin, and you can see why. Against Bitcoin, it's just continued to underperform. And you know, there's always the possibility that I'm completely wrong. In fact, that's generally more than likely. Zcash. Okay, there's another coin that has failed to do this 1, 2, 3 bottom. So 1 goes there, the 2 goes there, 3 goes here, and then it kind of fails to get back up to this this 2 level, and it's come back down. It's past the previous 1 position, and so wherever it stops, it could be down here at 0.01. Who knows? I'm not long on Zcash at the moment anyway. Need to wait and see what happens on that one. So that is my trading journal for another week. I'm going to make another video on Wednesday where I'll give away a Clam coin to one of the comments underneath this video. So make sure you put your Clam coin address. If you don't have one yet, in the description I'll put the simple way to grab a Clam coin address at Just Dice. And yeah, this coming Wednesday, I'm gonna make a video on a few ways that I personally, a few tools that I use to grow my Bitcoin. So you've got some Bitcoin holdings and you want to kind of grow that into more holdings. One of the ways that I do that is, of course, trading, and that's why I'm learning to trade, because it's a great opportunity to grow your Bitcoins. But there are a few other ways, and I'm going to share that on Wednesday. So if you want to tune in for that, hit subscribe, and we'll see you then. All right. Well, toodaloo. Thanks for tuning in.